Welcome to the 13th house. Come on in, take your shoes off, make yourselves at home, and let's get weird for a while. If you're new here, it's going to be exactly that. It is going to be weird. It is what it is. If you are returning, thank you so much for finding something in me, my channel, and the content to return to. It means a lot more than I can say. I could say, but I'd be rambling on and on for days. And if you have been with me before, you know I can definitely ramble. Keep in mind that your perception is your responsibility, okay? Use your discernment, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't try to make it, okay? And for my safety and protection, and yours, anything I say, do, what have you on this channel is for entertainment purposes only. If you know, you know. Gotta say it. These two tried to come out. I'm being told to put them back, but they came out for a reason, so it is Love and Submission, War and Strife. Okay, so right off the rip, it seems like we have something that's going to be pertinent to duality, because you notice how, like, there's opposition there. And so many of you that, whoa, okay, intellectual talent, nice. But so many of you that I tap into the energy of, and you are drawn in to me, you are ones that walk that nice fine line that creates a bridge between the opposing forces, okay? It's like that whole thing of opposites attracting, and you have a way of balancing it out, okay? It's just going to be pertinent to that, it seems. And then the intellectual talent, okay? Weaving parallels between these seemingly opposing forces, okay, does require a lot of intellectual talent. You have to be not only a mental gymnast, because you're having to cover like logic and reason, so on, but also your subconscious and imagination have to hold a certain capacity and depth that normally would be crushing to others, okay? Theft and destruction. So you might be experiencing something to where you, or this is something you have experienced several times over, where your creative, intellectual, whatever property, ideas, what have you, have been stolen, okay, taken, and it's done in a way that is very hard to describe and to get anyone to fucking believe you, because it's like I've said with my channel, what I'm here for is to be a sanctuary to wandering hearts and curious souls, and that means for the collective subconscious, unconscious, and imagination, the unseen, the ones that are typically, you know, cast aside, all right? The whole name for the channel, 13th house, is the estate of those who, anyways. But the way that this theft and destruction works, how that intellectual and creative property is typically stolen, plagiarized, falsified, what have you, is those who work on the strictly the wave of consciousness. Like they find it, they can't tap into their own subconscious and creative center, because either they don't have access to it anymore because they've been blocked off from it, or they never put in the work to help it grow and produce anything new. Okay, so you operate, your existence, your consciousness, and everything operates more on the subconscious, imaginative, and what have you wavelength. Okay, and so just by interacting with a lot of these, what's in them can tap into those creative ideas and whatnot, because they literally just kind of pour off of you. And they're often people that have more access to things, and how perfect, right? Because it's a whole system. And so they'll run with it before you even have a chance to make anything of it, because this whole construct has been set in place to keep you from being able to bring those seeds you came into existence with to life, to bring them to fruition in alignment with your blueprint that you had set for them, okay? But that doesn't mean that they take it and it just can't ever exist for you, okay? Because you will always hold the right to that. It's just for now, because they've taken it and done something with it, whatever. Anyways, then we have cruelty, and then perception and revelation. So it goes again with like the theft and destruction. So they think that they're acts of cruelty. They have cruel intentions for these creative endeavors, right? Like for this for the gifts and such that you brought in that they keep trying to leech off of. All right? But they don't have the perception to decode the revelations within those things. So although they might be exploiting it and twisting it into something that, you know, from what you had originally had planned for it, they might be, you know, representing it in a way that's contradictory. But because it came from you, when you do finally put it out there, in your own way, all right, only through you can it be properly perceived, and only through you and the way that you put it out can the revelations that have been held within it to be able to ignite, you know, resonance in others, then it'll come through. And so what this is also telling me is that, you know, if you've been considering something, like something you've been wanting to do or whatever, you keep putting it off, now's the time to take action on it, to not let insecurity, doubt, what have you, get in the way. Because although others might be able to try to copy something, they can mimic it all day, but what they cannot falsify, what have you, is your essence. You get what I'm saying? Because your essence is what brings the entire flow of the totality of all it is into a shape that others can perceive correctly. Ooh, and then on the bottom of the deck we have alchemy and transformation. Hell yes. And why does this shit keeps hinting at what my readings have been about for the past few days. The self-actualization and things like that. That could be the creative property, the creative and intellectual property that is being referred to here, okay? So when you think about deities, divinity, what have you, how others perceive it, and how there's 1,000,001 different interpretations thereof, and you might even find yourself, this is interesting, and I might go on a tangent, but I made a promise to let what comes through come out freely without blocking it off, so here we go. Just yesterday I was talking about abusing names of power, okay? How people often select just a handful of significant names that have been spoken of through the past that are associated with spiritual power, influence, and authority. Okay? And they do so in a way that it's like in doing that they hold that the essence of that identity to a state from that is beneath why they left that name behind. If they still wanted to be in that current state that someone's trying to attach to, they would have stayed in that. They wouldn't have left it behind and decided to transcend beyond it to ascend into something else, okay? Something more than whatever. But you could be someone who in a past life, a past incarnation, what have you, was actually one that held one of these names. And so if you find yourself, like when people talk about a certain deity, whether it's Hathor, Lilith, Jesus, Shiva, Hecate, what have you, there's so many of them, you might be getting rubbed the wrong way when people start trying to rep something, like you're like, no, look, this is too far. And you might even be questioning, like, why the fuck do I do that? Like, why does it bother me so bad? You know, kind of thing. It's just something to consider. Alright? Because you might know, like, say if you were that in a past incarnation, you were like, I left this identity, this essence, and the blueprint of it behind, so I could remember where I left off at. And I could pick up where I left off and lead myself forward, right? Like, raise myself up, kind of thing, from that point. And here you have people trying to play dress up in an identity and everything that isn't theirs. And it's one thing for people to do that as they grow, because I said this in my reading yesterday, to try to put on different identities to see how they feel, because it helps them go through the process of elimination within themselves, okay? But to sit there and be lazy with spiritual work and say, I don't have to find myself, I'll just put on this identity and say that I'm that because I like how much power is attached to this name and the influence that it already has. And so I'm just going to say that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole different level of disrespect. So that might be prevalent. It needed to be said. So I said it. And we have, not all light is love. Discernment is sacred. There are smiles laced with poison. There is truth still trapped in shadows. And trust what your body knows before your mind explains it away. Exactly. That's something else that's been coming up. Earlier today, I was doing a reading for myself. And in that reading, I was asking, like, could I get, a little bit of information about what you would like discussed with, the collective when I do my video. And with this deck here, this is a handmade deck I made for myself. I never intended for it to be used with anyone else, and I will be using it today. But there's a card that talks about, like, monarchs. And I'm not talking about butterflies. I'm talking about, like, Project MK Ultra shit. Because they changed the name of it, but they didn't stop the bullshit they were doing. Anyway. And with that, when the mind is fractured and everything, there are certain bodies that have been, it's a whole thing. It was before, and it's been set through in bloodlines and everything to be able to rise at a certain time when needed, because the mind being compromised, okay? And if you've ever experienced something like that with being intentionally fractured so that, your existence can be more convenient and at the whims of another person, and their will. Whatever. Anyways. But, your body holds memory, its own memory. Before consciousness came into the body had its own intelligence, its own mind, its own nature, its own everything. And there was an agreement between consciousness and the flesh that the flesh would host consciousness, right? It's the whole thing. Anyways, whatever. We also have Selena. This came out the other day, the white moon, and then yesterday Lilith came out, the dark moon. So we're switching back over to this side, okay? The conscious self, the higher self, inspiration, melody, inner light, okay? And then we have the 11th house, friends, acquaintances, casualties with others, friendly help given or received, companies, organizations, groups, clubs, hopes, wishes, goals, and intentions, one's life path, public relations, promotional activities, idealized projects, and social consciousness. Like the hive mind, the group mind kind of thing. A whole group can tap into the most potent wavelength within a group is what the whole other group is going to start to tune into and mirror. Okay, so that might help provide some context to a few things. 6th house, work, service, servants, co-workers, labor, productivity, work routines, sickness and health, care for self, therapeutic activity, malcontent, work is drudgery, pets and small animals, aunts and uncles. So I'm going to put that over here. I'm being told to just set it off to the side. Then we have just the moon. Not the light moon, not the dark moon, just the moon itself. Okay, female energy, the unconscious mind, sensitivity, emotions, and dreams. Okay, so this also speaks on a broader scale, not just light, not just shadow, but also the one that both polarities sit within, okay? or make up. Because, like, the moon is its whole as well, but so are the aspects. Like, if we're talking about it just specifically, the moon is a whole, and its components that make it a whole are also a whole in and of themselves as well. Okay? And just like the mind can be fractured, the fractures and, like, fractal nature of source, this is why they go after people, they target out people with the ability to dissociate, because that blueprint is very ancient, and it is rare to find those who can truly dissociate in such a way that entire identities can be held and programmed within a system and be accessed like that, and to be told to stay repressed like that. Alright. So this goes in with, understanding the polarity even within the polarities, the darker side of light and the lighter side of shadow. All right. And one of all right, time to learn, sit down, shut up, and pay attention. And that's with intellectual talent. So you know when to, you know when to shut up and pay attention. You know how to do it. You know how to kind of blend in when you need to, and to use that to your advantage when people aren't putting you in the spotlight. Like, you know how to use that to get information, to get a broader understanding, a deeper meaning, okay, within everything. Theft and destruction. Oh shit, we have Temple, the artisan of emotions, Bella Figura. I am Rubelite Dearest. When I made this, I picked that because my name is Ruby. So, the whole Rubelite Dearest thing, like, I was like, I love it because it's me. But anyways, so what this is talking about, like, theft and destruction, I was talking about, like, ideas, like, what's held within you, okay? The temple, the body, the artisan of emotions, right? The body, the vessel, okay? And, beautiful figure, Bella Figura, okay? The I am. Alright, so in this, like, I was talking about those stolen identities, those names of power through history, right? And the way people use it and exploit it, and they think, and it's very disrespectful, because in doing that, they're saying, they're wanting to claim this identity, but in the very act of trying to do it the way that they're doing it, they're revealing how much they don't even believe in that entity's true existence. Because if they truly did, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? Anyway. Hey, that's too many at once, though. But I'll mention it. Okay. So we have feel perfect. What is your perfect in this moment? What is your perfect in this moment? Perfection is subjective, okay? It's different through every lens. And then we have the metaverse matrix, your avatar, the talisman, the temple. Celebrate what brought us through, our bodies, okay? Oh, gosh, we're talking about, like, even in, like, the perception and revelation. Because a lot of times the people who are, anyways, what? Okay. Remember I was talking about the I am. I am. Can we not? I am loved, good, solid, protected, amazing, whole, powerful, deserving, beautiful, never alone, always growing, capable, golden, honest, stable, safe, worthy, watched over. Like, all these things, like, I am. And that I am, just like the moon, can be multiple things through its polarities. So can you. Even in that fractal sort of state, because, like, so is the wonder of source, okay? And I'm very aware of how sometimes I can be perceived, and so that's why sometimes you'll hear me like, or I'll be like, whatever, just never, because throughout my life, when I have tried to express things, it hasn't always been well received, okay? So, this is also new to me, and it's a lot for me to put myself out here. Like I said, like I never intended on making a YouTube channel. I never imagined that I would be letting others witness what I had been told I should keep totally sealed away. Okay? So sometimes it still gets a little difficult for me to speak so raw, because I'm aware of the different ways that it can be perceived, and it has caused in my past it caused a lot of pain. I'm still healing. So cruelty, leading lady. All right. So, the theft and destruction of this temple of the creative into intellectual property, okay, that had been held and it was considered sacred, was cruel to the leading lady. Like, you have consciousness, like the light of consciousness, which is masculine, and then you have the subconscious, which is feminine. Okay, so the leading lady. It's a cruel thing to do, because now it's like taking somebody's babies, like. And then raising those children to hate the mother that they don't even know they had. And there's even in today, in this world, in way of religion, it is so much, it mirrors that in such a way. It's anyways, whatever. Perception and revelation. The original point of view is to live, to perceive what you want to be, how you want to be it, and to become it, to embody it, right? Okay, and then we have the saving grace, how to cure what is your why, what's your why, okay? Everybody has a why that they want to know, that gives them the fuel to continue to learn, to grow, whatever. And then, I'm going to put these back, but it says, from the past, you fucking did what? Reap, so repeat. So this is like talking about shame cycles, okay? And then start here with giving and classical symmetry and composition. Balance, right? Like balancing things out. There it is. It came out, I figured it would. For the monarch, beware the vampires. Those ones who will steal and leech. And they're cruel. Anyway. And on the bottom, we have gentle fluidity. To have a future, they mustn't be beholden to its past, okay? So, that's a big part of, like, letting yourself yield to the memory that the body is holding, that like, some people even call it the Akashic Record, okay? Letting that surface and not being reactive to every little thing that comes up. You know what I mean? We're going to dive a little deeper. I'm going to try to keep this one, this read, a little shorter than the ones I have been doing, just because, like, I'm aware that a lot of people don't want to sit and watch an hour and a half long video, like, so. If y'all see me moving my mouth a lot, I've got some fucking ham stuck in my teeth, and it's bothering the shit out of me. I'm just trying to wiggle it loose. Okay. So for intellectual talent, time to learn. Sit down, shut up, and pay attention. What do you want to tell us with that, please? Thank y'all. There we go. We have occupation. Okay. Wait, so you might be good at teaching people. Wait, did you see that? What was popping out? Alright, we have marriage. So a union of some sort. Interesting. No, this is crazy because, like, with intellectual talent, right? Occupation, time to learn, sit down, shut up, and pay attention. I was just talking about yielding to that inherent knowledge that has been stored within you through your genetic code, through your DNA, through your ancestry. Okay. It's like it's your job. I see this is different than the toil and labor card, because on the toil and labor card, hold on, I want to show it to you so you can understand deeper what I'm talking about here. You see somebody, because like it's like hard work with little to no reward for it. Okay, it's like working your ass off for crumbs. Okay, but here it shows someone like they're comfortable. Okay. As where in this one, like, that person looks tired, they're dirty, even the cat looks like it don't want to fucking be there, alright? But here, it's got good lighting, she's got a nice sewing machine, she looks content doing her work, okay? So it's like, it's your job to just stay in that flow state, like, not resist, and let it flow, and trust that, you know, what you need and whatnot will be provided to you. The opportunities will find their way to you. You'll know what to agree to, whatever. As things come on your path, it's about tuning back into your vessel, kind of thing, and like learning to trust it again. Okay. Then the theft and destruction we have with the temple. Okay. Poverty, exactly. That trauma, part of the whole thing that I was talking about with the monarchs, like the MK Ultra shit, is traumatizing someone into, especially when you have a heart that's so giving, right? And you have this inherent desire to trust. You have like an inherent understanding of like devotion, and you seek that out. And they will use this to traumatize you down to your core, with a scarcity mindset, so that you never feel truly safe. Because if you did feel truly safe with this type of blueprint, it's very powerful, it's very potent. And in order for you to bring about that which you have held, one of the locks on that, one of the seals in that, is to ensure that the foundation is solid, that you're safe. And so if they can hijack that part of you that makes you feel like you're safe, they're continuing to put it off, and they're able to continuously feed off of what your essence puts out, okay? And it is cruelty. Alright, for cruelty and lady, please. Thank you. Bad health, exactly. Leaving you in bad health, that's fucked up. What I do want to say, because it's coming through with Selena showing up here, and yesterday Lilith came out. Now these are both feminine polarities, right? And I was just talking about like the light of consciousness typically being associated with masculine energy, all right? But this is one of the things I was talking about. It might be either my last reading or the one just before that, but that these embodiments of these aspects coming into form, to where they're going to mirror the embodiment of these polarities and like become heads of collectives, right? If that makes sense. To where these two won't any longer be housed in a body. And I was talking about this yesterday with like the self-actualization thing. The feminine conscious self. The feminine aspect of consciousness. Okay? Being balanced with her feminine aspect of the unconscious, the subconscious feminine aspect, integrating into a whole, okay? And on the masculine end, the same thing. All right, and then the masculine aspect in one, the feminine aspect in the other, they're kind of like whoop, and they become reflections of that which was internal. I hope I'm making sense, because it is a lot to try to verbally explain. Whatever. Okay, so it's like putting this leading lady in bad health because it's keeping the cruelty is keeping her in a stagnant state because she is inherently, like I was talking about, like that inherent need to be for devotion, to be devoted and to pour and to love and to nurture. And if she feels alone, because she's aware that that counterpart presence is supposed to be there to provide that safe place for her to be able to assist in the co-creation aspect to bring forth all that's been held. You get what I'm saying? So, anyway, we have perception and revelation. Original point of view. Live or life. You can say one or the other. Depends. We'll see what comes out. Expectation. Okay. Interesting. And if I can... Perception, revelation. Okay, you can wow. You can expect the original point of view to go live. It's like a broadcast, like a broadcasting a net for the collective. You can even apply that to like the Fisher of Men kind of thing, a fishing net, to broadcast, to pull them in for them to witness this original point of view. There's three sides to every story. Their side, or your side, their side, and the fucking truth. Okay? And what this is saying is the fucking truth. You can expect for the truth to be coming out, okay? Because it's time. The feminine aspect has been healing, okay? And it's the source of that healing came from a place that that wasn't bet on, okay? She didn't need to rely on something outside of herself. We'll put it that way. Alright, for the monarch, beware the vampires. Child. Exactly. They go after that inner child, okay? But, whoever, like, I'm speaking to whoever this resonates with, you've taken that inner child, okay? You've kept it safe. They leech off. It's like I was saying, like, it's like taking her children and raising them up to hate her. They won't even know her, right? For you, whoever you are, no matter how much was broken or fractured within you, a part of you could not be touched. Alright? That's not to say that you're better than anyone else, what have you. It is what it is. It's nothing personal, you know? And I think a lot of people don't understand that, the word chosen can mean a multitude of things. You have to ask yourself, chosen for what? And why? And then we have, what is your why? And then we have this great fortune, right? So a lot of people are after this inheritance without truly understanding like the totality of what does it mean. They have this thing where it's sudden wealth, right? Like, I'll be rich, I'll be famous, and da 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 da. Well, like, why are you automatically assuming like that's what that's gonna be? And then this pulls into the whole thing of like integrity, the balance within yourself of light and shadow, what fuels your consciousness, what makes up your higher self, what truly inspires you, you know, what makes your soul truly sing. Is it like, anyway. And we also, because then the 11th house, like hopes, wishes, goals, intentions, and one's life path. Alright? Public relations and promotional activities, idealized projects, and social consciousness. Okay, and I was talking about like stepping into the head of a collective. Like, you have to understand that, for, I guess, like, people would refer to it as the elect, it's not just as simple as, well, I'll have all this money, I'll have everything I want, and I'll be number one, and everybody will know it's me, and blah, 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 blah. No. It's not like that. It's like being okay with leaving little, like, say you're walking down a lonely stretch of road, it's snowing outside, and you know no one's around. You're in an area no one's, like, has been in. You know this. And then all of a sudden you come up on something, and on the side of the road, out of nowhere, is the outline of, like, two snow angels, where it looks like two people laid down in the snow. It was a parrot. They were laughing, having a good time, and they just made these snow angels. The ones who left that don't need to be present to witness what comes after the moment that they created together. But the one who sees that, the snow angels and everything, you've been walking, and like while you're walking through this, you might have a million and one things like weighing down on your soul, in your heart, in your head, and at the right time you happen upon those two random ass snow angels, and every heavy thought just suddenly poof goes away. Sometimes magic can be so subtle, and it has nothing to do with taking credit for this or that, or it's just simply about leaving seeds to be raised up to benefit others without you having to be there, without you having to say, that was me, I did that. Like, okay, and that, anyway, I don't know if I'm making sense on that, but somebody out there, you'll get it, okay? And it could also be that, with this poverty mindset, this lack mindset, whatever that had you traumatized, your why is like that solid foundation, okay? And so you finally receiving that because you held on to this, you have done the thing to hold it in place for it to rise up and become and step out, and so that great fortune comes with it, right? So you'll know finally what it's like to be able to live in your perfect, like what's your perfect, like that one card that came out that I ended up putting back, I think, it's what's your perfect. You'll be able to actually figure that out outside of yourself because you mastered understanding it from within yourself, okay? Not all light is love. What do we have here with that? High honor with Selena. Okay, I'm being told with this, I want to go ahead and say it while it's fresh. You have, you hold high honor for your ability to see this about light. For you to have this understanding and be able to hold it without enmity, you can perceive the darker side of light without being judgmental, without taking offense, without being so triggered by the nature of something's existence. You let light be light in whatever way it is. You let shadow be shadow in whatever way it is. And you let however they interact together be what they are without feeling the need to label every damn thing. And then with the conscious self, inspiration, the higher self, melody, inner light, we have community. And I think this is interesting because this comes over here to the 11th house, like the social consciousness, idealized projects. And then we have community here. And then this whole theft of everything. And then going even right back to the what's your perfect. Like, perfection is subjective. And so to even think that you could have a whole community be satisfied with only one notion of perfect is never going to, it's just not. And the way that things are, it just is a blatant and obvious reflection of that. You have so many different people going to such extreme measures to try to reach what they deem to be like a state of perfection, But then you have others who just naturally thrive just in what it means to be alive, just to exist, to be happy to just fucking exist exactly as they are. And the people chasing perfection hate them for it. A lot of times. Like, they're cruel to them. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Whatever. Alright, for the 11th house. Thank you. A gift. And on the bottom of the deck is toil and labor. It's time you receive this gift because all this time. But you finally understand your job. It's like that whole why thing. With that yielding to that deep inner knowing and finally trusting in that, you know, I've done the work, I know myself, I know who I am inside, and I know I can trust that. And so you actually start doing your job where you sit down, you shut up, and you pay attention. And then you start to understand where this great fortune comes in and how it comes into your life, because your gifts are finally able to surface, right? As you access that record within yourself that has been built through lifetimes and that DNA, like I was talking about, you know? And I think a lot of this gift, because it did come out, and like I was pairing this community card with this 11th house thing, and I was talking about like the head of a collective. Part of your gift is this this influence, like this ability, this gift to influence a whole collective. And that is such a huge, oh, that's terrifyingly beautiful. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's a, anyway. And as always, take it as it fits. If it doesn't fit, that's fine. You don't have to be forced to put on what doesn't fit. Alright, you could apply it in a multitude of ways. If you're not one that you feel like you're stepping into this head of a collective position, you could see it as knowing how to surrender without seeing it as a defeat. Understanding your role within that structured system and being okay with it, and understanding that you're enough, you're perfect, is going to be like it's already yours. You just falling into alignment with it has been the thing, you know? I'm gonna do a couple of these. And it's just going to be, I'm not going to do one for each. I'm just going to pull a few, and we're going to take it from the broad, and I'm going to pull 3, okay? Where am I at? 43. That's not too bad. Alright. Careerist. Dreamer of grand schemes, vision, cunning, machination, and aspiration. What do you aspire to be? What is your vision? And is it cunning? Are you planning a grand scheme, or are you trying to what is the word? Are you scheming, or are you planning? Are you, why are you, if you feel the need to be cunning, why do you feel the need to be cunning? To be hiding, to be, oh shit, that knocked the vertebrae there. Ooh, so yeah, poverty could have really been that sharp knife, that, and not just poverty as in money, but like, feeling lonely, feeling outcast, maybe your perception of self was so distorted for the longest time that, you know, you are this beautiful person inside and out, like strikingly, stunningly beautiful. Not just inside, but outside too. But you could never see that for yourself. Like, it was so deeply ingrained that even your ability to perceive the external Oh, that's sad. Was fucked with. That's really cruel. But you're being able to like see it, you know what I'm saying, and being able to embrace it and not feel like embracing it is something to be ashamed of, like, because the times when you would see it or something, you could have had somebody really kind of making you feel bad, like calling you conceited, calling you self-absorbed, and da 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 da. But the reason it hurt is because it didn't fit. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you weren't being conceited. You knew you weren't self-absorbed. Oh man. Yep, this insight. Exactly. And then we have, ooh. Ooh, cosmic connection. And then we have courier, a delivery. Messenger of connections, information, transmission, gift. Ooh, that's a lot. This is like... So you could, seer of the unseen, you could always see the unseen. You could tap into the unseen. And you saw this. You saw the scheme of it and when nobody else could or would. And you put up with all this shit. All this cruelty, everything. This whole time. And you didn't lose yourself in it. Like, you maintained your high honor. Like, you understood, like, not all light is love and not all shadow is fucking, like, wickedness. Like, this is crazy because that presence that showed up for you, ended up being something of shadow. I want to talk about a fucking redemption arc. Holy shit. This is amazing. This has a ripple effect. Like, if you can grasp the totality of this, because, like, if it's meant for you, then you will grasp the totality of this. You'll understand exactly. Whew. This is a perfect design. Okay? Because just in all of it, even utilizing the plot against it, tilted things to work in such a way where the unhealed aspects of the light, even the unhealed aspects of the shadow, it like started getting everything to move in a way where it's finding its place and it's balancing itself out. Like, holy shit. Anyway. Alright, I'm gonna put these up and I'm gonna see what the weirdness jar has to say about this. And then we're gonna call it. I may have gone a little bit over on the time span that I wanted to, but I think that I covered a pretty good bit in the time that I did. Okay? Getting better every time. Getting there. That's what counts, right? Come back. Man, this is exciting. And this one, you know, like the whole work, service, co-workers, like labor, productivity, routine, sickness, health, care, self-care. Work is drudgery and holy shit. Anyway. I love it when things like they go really deep. You get what I'm saying? Like I operate on a wavelength that's just way the fuck down there. And to be able to share something with others, you know, in a way that like brings this stuff that's like that I'm familiar with, and I'm sure a lot of you too, and like it might be refreshing for you also to be able to have this stuff that's usually held in such depths, be able to come to the surface and just breathe for a minute. It's like, yes, this shit. It makes you wonder, like, how the fuck other people can't see it. Like, anyway, I'm gonna quit gushing over it. If you know, you know. And you'll be all nice and giddy over it too, and we can be giddy together. Yay. Any hoodles. Weirdness jar. You've been here the whole fucking time. You already know what to do. Let's see what you got to say about this. Asmodeus, can we not? He's gonna put his head in the damn fire. Look, you knocked my dragon over. Wait a minute. A rock fell on its head. Well, if that isn't cryptic as fuck. Double-minded. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. I see shit in everything. I can't help it. I can't turn it off. These fell out. These apparently wanted to be fussed. A kid. What are you? Come here. Is all about this mystical cat here, okay? So this is like, this is indicative of like that card that I was talking about, work and pets and aunts and uncles, okay? The 6th house, okay? It's like the mystical side of the family, okay? Pillow, softness, alright? The Knight of Cups, beginning, the 7 of Wands. And there's this book, something written, scripture of some sort, or something that, a record of something. And then we have this, I associate this with like the kidneys or an artery of some sort, purification process, okay? That was stuck in here. Makes me feel, and then we have the stars, so that was kind of wedged here. Makes you feel hopeful, okay? Turns out I'm the complete package. We were just talking about that. The 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, and attached to this soccer ball, we have the Lovers. And this little digital camera printer thing. It's printing out a picture, like an image, right? And I was, in the reading yesterday, I keep talking about this, the whole self-actualization thing, and not just actualization of self, but also the inner aspect that had helped you rise when everything outside of yourself was trying to keep you, okay, we just talked about all of that, the image of it, like anyways, and then we have the soccer ball. Now, like, you can dive deep into the soccer ball, like, symbolism, but it does have the white and black because it is duality, okay? And then you do have the pentagram, okay, which is like, it hints at magic, manifestation, okay? And then the ball itself is like a sphere, okay? So it's like, using magic to create, alright? So it's like having the ability to manifest this image. Like being given, because you are the complete package, you were given this. Okay, then we have 0. Yo, in like the shape of a ball, like if you lay it flat, it's a circle, a 0. We have 0 here. This is my number. Like, seriously, I love this number because of the fact it is the womb, like the womb that holds the potential as it waits to find form, okay? Then we have bird. Neosporin and Band-Aids is with regard to healing, and then you have a tree during late fall. It's lost its leaves, okay? 8, abundance, whatever it did. It can also be laid on its side. It's infinity. Where did you go? That went somewhere. I went to go set it down and just like, okay. Oh wait, it went under this. I barely saw it peeking out. That was crazy. Anyways. And then we have Bebe, like fairy, okay? If you're familiar with like Celtic mythology and stuff, they talk about the neighbors, the fae folk, and what happened to them. Okay, and then we have the 5 of Cups. Alright, you may have been like feeling apathetic because this this one that you've known within yourself always seemed, I'm just going to say it seemed impossible, okay? We have the Ace of Wands, which is also indicative of manifestation, having the passion, the impetus, okay, to bring things forward for the crowds, okay, the collective, what have you. And then we have this man with the serpent. Ooh, yes, 13. Also, a hint at Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. And pressure tactics. Okay, we can apply that with alchemical principles if you like. The Ten of Pentacles, right? So the pressure, you apply the pressure, which is simple as like also with the serpent bearer being able to handle. I talked about yesterday. I was scrying and I saw in a vision of like a snake, okay, and like someone handling the snake, right? It wasn't venomous, you could tell by the shape of its head, but the way it was being handled implied that it could be venomous in some way or dangerous in some way. If you think about a snake that has like, ooh, and you can think of Jacqueline and Boaz, like boas constrict things, right? That pressure tactic, right? So if you can handle the pressure as it's constricting around you, all right? We have like the Ten of Pentacles, material abundance, material wealth, and it's also like written about in scripture, like that final push, the labor, like the labor pains, what have you. And then we have the devil. Exactly, it's crazy in a good way. The moon. Nobody really knows who the devil is. You know why though? What is your why? Okay, that's a message waiting to be opened, received, what have you, read. Alright, then we have festive. A knot. Okay, that could be entanglement, a promise. Wait, I started bringing this stuff over this way, so I'm going to put it here. Entanglement, a promise, attachment, bone. You know, down to the bone. 5. Dungeon master. Anything they can. Truly unbreakable love. Yep, do anything they can to untangle, to unwrap this serpent from the one who it is around, okay? Your body. Smash. That's the mailman. The goat. Well, shit. Okay. We have the crow here. Let me put you over here so I don't lose where you were put. There we go. Bird. Okay. Lollipop. Sweetness. Hidden. The train of thought. That's what these trains are in US. They're colorful. Okay, like train cars. Ah, fuck, I dropped it. But it had a picture of train cars. I'm not awkward, I swear. Okay, then we have like the malachite protection, ancestral protection specifically, lightning bug, to be able to be like that gentle glowing light in darkness, right? So you had like the not all light, it's love. Alright, so being able to gently illuminate the darkness without imposing upon it. Okay, so it's like being considerate to what dwells within the dark. You illuminate it gently, you get what I'm saying? And then again, more of the serpent reference with the two hands and the whole union thing, okay? So it's like reaching out, bridging between the two opposing, whatever. Then we have the fox here, the clown. Oh my goodness, his leg is all rolled up. I gotta fix that. But there's the clown here. You can also think of that with, like, yesterday I was talking about, like, the Heyoka archetype. I myself resonate with it very much. Short, okay. And someone, like, dabbing it, like, it's okay. Oh my. had to do with pets and servants. A dog, but that's also a J. It's in the shape of the letter J, third party. So serving. Okay, like a dog begging at someone's feet, you know, sitting up doing tricks. Here, let me, you know, and there's this third party here. So this is giving like, this isn't a clown like a Hyoka type of clown. This is a clown as in someone being like a jackass, okay? Because they were going, like we were talking about, like trying to steal identities, like parading around in someone else's clothes. Like, it's like, they're like, it's okay, we're gonna wipe your little tears away. I know you had a short time trying to fuck with my... What's the word I'm looking for? I just lost my train of thought. Maybe if I pick up the fucking little train cars. Hold on. Anyway. Okay. So anyway, it's like you had a short season of manipulating what serves the greater good. Like you wanted everything to serve you. Acting as a third, that clown trying to impose themselves as this third party, okay, when they actually, like, they had no place. Oh, then we have this. It is like this sweet little cuddly teddy bear. Okay. We have the high priestess. And then we have this. This is a little girl riding on a broom, right? And on the tip of her broom, she has a cat. But this is hidden within it. So we have like hidden, and then these train cards like in the mind. And lollipops is like sweetness, all right? So in the head of this bird, like people talk about left wing, right wing, but they never think about the head. Like, what's in the head of that bird? What kind of bird is that? Like, why are you focused so much on one wing or the other? What's in the head of this bird? Okay, nobody wanted to look at that. But there was sweetness hidden in these compartmentalized hidden thoughts. Like, they're full of color, okay? They're colorful. They can go places. Like, it can really move things forward, okay? Like, train cars, they hold things. They, if you think of, like, how do, like, stores and stuff get their stock and things like that to be able to provide access for everyone else, a lot of the freight and everything is transported on the cars, on the trains, and then like the freight truck, the trucks get those freight cars and put them on a trailer, and then anyway. But anyway, here's a unicorn that was hidden behind this little witch's head. Okay, and see, she's wearing a yellow hat, and then this is the yellow hat. So this clown was trying to make themselves out to be, and you notice this is male, this is a little female, right? This clown was trying to make it out like they were this, but they're not. They were trying to get others to see them as someone to serve by having stolen the identity of this, right? Okay? But this would actually holds the magic and the healing power, the spiritual cleansing power, okay? And there you have it. That is... I'm not going to pull anymore, thank you. Jar of Weirdness, we love you. Ooh. Hold up, did you... Oh no, you knocked over me, Elk. Anyway. I know that was a bit of a wild one, guys. Like I said it from the beginning. It's gonna be weird. Take it as you see fit, any of it. With the fox, so like, we had the hands like reaching out together, making a connection to that which like other people, they normally couldn't handle the pressure, right? And so when you think of the subconscious, you think of the dark waters, the deep, dark depths. Once you get down to a certain depth, it gets really dark, and the pressure is crushing. It can crush you. Okay, so too could be the constriction, feeling bound by this like serpent type force. But when you can handle the pressure and withstand the pressure, you start to understand the nature of this thing's being. It may not have been being aggressive and cruel and evil and wicked. It was just like it had never been understood. So when it starts to relax, it's no longer constricting, right? And so this snake isn't bound tightly, all right? It's gentle. It looks like a symbolic, like, connecting two together that are wanting to come together in friendship or in union, okay? And the fox is often associated with, like, being able to think quickly, being able to, being very smart, intelligent, quick-wit, okay? Very playful. A fox is very versatile. All right, and with this one, this is, like, what was seen, like, because, like, certain symbols and stuff, people hyper attach to things thinking they understand the meaning, and you have, like, the inverted pentagram, okay? And but it's on this teddy bear. It's cuddly, it's soft, it's literally just a teddy bear. But if you can imagine, if everybody thought that it was this awful thing just because of a few little symbols that they don't understand, they treat something so awfully, like, with such cruelty, and then they want to punish it for defending itself against that cruelty. And then they want to say, like, that's what I'm saying, like, it's like a very, yesterday I talked about, like, the reactive abuse is a prime example of something like that, okay? Anyway, there's that, and until next time, bye.